Good morning. We will start with a new physics chapter, that is 8th chapter in your book, Motion. So, when we talk about this, what is the term related to motion? That means something where a body is moving, right? So, how do we define motion, or how do we know that the body is moving? Suppose I see a chair which is there in front of me. The chair is at rest according to me. After half an hour, when I come and see, the chair is still at rest. But if I see the position of the chair which has moved from one place to another, that means the chair has moved. It has displaced from its given original position, from its rest position to a particular distance. So we define motion as a body is said to be in state of motion when its position change continuously with respect to the point or with respect to time, I can say. Now for example, if I have seen a body here, so at time at 0, at a particular time where the body was at rest. Okay, let me take a toy car. So after some time, the toy car has displaced from this distance to this distance. That means it has moved. In 5 seconds, what I can say here is with respect to time. Initially the toy was here. After 5 seconds, the toy has moved to a different position with respect to time. Then we can say that the body is said to be in motion. Before we understand the depth of this chapter, we have to understand few more physical terms of the physics, right? So different types of motion we all have studied: circulatory motion, linear motion, oscillatory motion. Now I can say rotating fan is an example for circulatory motion. Linear motion, a coconut falling from a tree is an example of a linear motion which comes in a straight line. Oscillatory motion, or you can say vibratory motion, which oscillates to and fro motion. Pendulum of a clock can be an example for an oscillatory motion. Swing can be an example for oscillatory motion. You have studied these types of motion in our previous classes. So as I have told, before we go to the depth of the chapter, let us understand few physical terms when we deal with physics chapters. So basically, all the physical, in physics, we basically deal with all physical quantities. Now what do you mean by physical quantities? Physical quantities say are like length, or we can say it as speed, distance, force, etc. Temperature, time, all these are physical quantities, right? So we deal with all such physical quantities in physics. All which can be measured, that is length, mass, time, temperature, are called physical quantities. Now suppose I have a pen. Can I measure how big the pen is? Yes, I can measure. I have a board. Can I measure how broad the board is? Yes, I can measure, right? Suppose if I am hitting the door, can I measure with what force I am hitting the door? Yes, we can measure it. If I am walking, running, can I measure for how long I am walking? For since how much time? Half an hour, 1 hour, 30 seconds, whatever it is. Can we measure that? Can we measure our body temperature? Yes, we all can measure. So, physical quantities are the quantities where we can measure them. All which can be measured, that is length, mass, time, temperature, force, speed, etc. all comes under physical quantities. This physical quantity we bifurcate into two types known as scalar quantity and vector quantity. Why do we do that? Now for example, let me again take an example of this pen. I want to know what is the height of this pen. So for example, if I take a scale, it comes around 10 centimeter. Let us assume. Oh, okay, this pen is 10 centimeter. So 10 centimeter is the magnitude of the pen, that is the measure of the pen, right? Now, do I also want in which direction is it 10 centimeter? Does it matter? No. So here, while measuring the height of this pen, distance does not matter. Which direction it is does not matter. Or will I tell this pen is measuring 10 centimeter towards north, 5 centimeter towards east? No, right? We need not give any direction with respect to our measurement. This is condition 1. Second condition, I have to push a door very hard so that the door can just break open. Now that means I have to push a door, that means I have to apply a force. Now force is always measured in newtons. That means I have to apply 5 Newton force to push the door. Now pushing the door from which direction? Should I push it from the front or should I push it from the back? Should I push it from the sideways? Which direction I have to push so that the door can break open? That is very important here. If you push the door from the wrong direction, how will the door break? Correct? That means certain physical quantities requires magnitude as well as direction. Say for example force, I have to apply 5 Newton force to break open the door from the right side. If I say that is north, west, east or south, a particular direction is required, right? So there are some physical quantities which require only magnitude, like for this height when we spoke about, and there are some physical quantities which require both magnitude and direction, that we call them as a scalar quantity and vector quantity. So how do we define scalar quantity? Physical quantity having only magnitude are known as scalar quantity. Now example length, when we talk about, it comes under scalar quantity. As we go on with the chapter in depth, what concepts we are studying in the chapter, you will be able to understand which falls under scalar and which falls under vector. So the physical quantity which has only magnitude, magnitude is number, will come under scalar quantity. So what is a vector quantity? Physical quantity having both magnitude and direction. That means it has both number as well as a direction are called as vector quantity. Right? So which will come under scalar and which will come under vector, we will see once we gradually proceed with the chapter. As of now, if you want, length comes under scalar quantity, because when I want to find the height, the length of the pen, it's only the magnitude, number, the direction is not required. But when I talk about I have to apply force so that I can break open the door, that means I should know what quantity amount of force I have to apply. Along with that, in which direction I have to apply. So force comes under vector quantity. Next, the most important thing, we all will give, for these all physical quantities, we measure in units. Now for example, now this pen, when I measure this in centimeter. I can measure this in meter. Can I measure in terms of millimeter? I can convert and I can do that, right? That means we have a particular unit for measurement. Each different physical quantities have their own units. Now what is this unit? A unit is a reference standard in terms of which any physical quantities can be measured. A unit is a reference standard. That means I go to market to buy bananas. If I tell him, okay, nowadays you can get even bananas in dozen, you can get bananas in kgs also. I go to market to get oil. So I'll tell him, give me 5 kgs of oil. Rather we say 1 liter oil. I go to market to bring milk. Give me 3 kgs of milk. Do we use kg there? No, we use liters. That means a unit is a reference standard. It's a particular standard for a particular physical quantity where we use it, terms of which any physical quantity can be measured. That means length. If I talk about length, I can measure length in terms of meter, centimeter, millimeter, etc. If I talk about temperature, I can measure in degree Celsius, I can measure in degree Fahrenheit, I can measure in Kelvin, right? All are correct. If I talk about time, I can measure that in seconds, hour. Everything is correct here. Minutes also. So that means it is a reference standard in terms of which any physical quantity can be measured. Now that means now during research or something, if for everybody will start measuring in their own units. Now basically when I talk about for 1 hour. 1 hour is nothing but how many? 60 minutes, right? I can also use 1 hour, I can also use 60 minutes. But which is more appropriate here? Now we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, right? So should I measure the units everything in meters or in centimeter? There should be one standard unit followed everywhere so that there will be no confusion during any research or anything which is going on. That means there are various systems of unit which was practiced or which was followed earlier. Which were those? It was with respect to length, mass and time. Basically, they have taken length, mass and time to give a standard unit. In FPS system means foot, pound and seconds. That means this was earlier used by British. Now, if in FPS system, if I have to measure the length, I have to measure in foot, right? If I have to measure the mass, I had to measure that in terms of pound. If I had to measure time, I had to measure that in seconds. That was British rule system. Then came the next CGS system. CGS system means if I have to measure length, it had to be in centimeter. Mass, it had to be in gram. Time, it had to be in seconds. Now what would happen here is during trading or any other things, there would be confusion in the units if everybody follows the same unit. Now for example, we always tell, right, there are different methods. I teach a different method, another teacher teaches a different method. That leads to a confusion among students sometimes. So what we do is, there is by CBSE or by the board, there is one standard method what we all follow, what we all use the same technique to do that, so that it is universal. Everybody does in the same method. Similarly, in units also, last was MKS unit, that is in terms of meter, kilogram and second, which was later found as a standard unit for measurement and for which we call that as a SI unit. So SI unit is nothing but International System of Unit. If it is International System of Unit, then why have we written SI? Why not IS? Because SI, when we read, it is a standard international unit what we actually read in that manner. So it is read as SI unit of a particular physical quantity. We follow MKS method. So we have to remember that MKS method is the method which we follow everywhere for all the units. That means wherever we have a length, we have to consider the length in terms of meter. Mass is always considered in terms of kg. Time is always considered in terms of seconds. That means when we deal with the numericals, a vehicle is moving 5 km per hour. For example, we need to convert that distance, length in terms of meter. 5 km to be converted in terms of meter. Per hour. Per hour, when we talk about, time has to be always converted in terms of seconds. That is a standard unit what we follow. So here in this chapter, when we will be dealing with the numericals also, numericals will be done once we start with the regular classes. But to your knowledge, you should know that all the units should be kept in terms of length always in meter. Length in the sense, distance also will come in length. It should always be in meter. Mass, whenever we calculate, that should be in kg. If it is in gram, convert that to kg. Time should always be in second, that is we follow the MKS rule of Standard International System, that is nothing but SI system or SI unit system. So SI unit, when we talk about SI unit of force is Newton, I say, right? We will discuss that as we gradually move on with the chapter. So this is about the various system of unit what we follow. Let's again come back to the chapter. Now when we talk about motion, motion exists always in two states. It's not the movie Two States, but how motion exists, it always exists in the form of two states. That is, it exists in state of rest or it exists in state of motion. So in this chapter, we will be basically dealing with how motion exists in state of motion, that is in different path. When it moves, what is it called as? Now we already know what is a motion when it is called in the state of motion. Definition wise, a body is said to be in motion if it has excuse me, displaying its position from one point to another with respect to time. When we talk about rest, when the body has not changed its position with respect to time. When at a particular 0 second, the body was here, even after 5 seconds, the body has not changed with respect to time. It is at rest. That is called as state of rest. Excuse me. Now, when we talk about state of motion, it is nothing but when the body chooses different path for the motion. Let that be distance or how it is moving. That is the what concept what we are studying in this chapter. So with respect to state of motion, how the body is moving, that is what is distance, what is displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, we will be studying in detail about those terms in this chapter. So today's introduction part of the motion chapter, if you have any doubts, you can call on the same day of the video set. Thank you.